Welcome to the Unclehack Podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
Oh, darling, won't you see? I'm just trying to be the man I was meant to be. So we should start the show like it's Playboy TV back in the day. A little jazz, you know, a little Sammy Davis Jr., maybe a little Frankie Sinatra. What is going on? Okay. Wouldn't that be nice? We go back to the days of velvet slippers and nudie magazines and an easier time. Anyways, an easier time, a good time you can have coming up this weekend, March 26th, Edmonton, Alberta, Vancouver, April 2nd, and all of April. We are throughout Southern Ontario. So if you're in those areas, be sure to check out dangercatshop.com for tickets. What a weekend we had in Hinton and Edson. Always good to get on the road, seeing the fine folks of the lovely town. But I've noticed one thing, that the women are starting to be more vocal than the men out there. I don't know what happened. Loud mouth. And not even like fun to talk to. You know what I mean? Like you get a good, you've seen the crowd work clips where somebody's like entertaining enough to bring something to the table and add to the conversation or what's being said on stage. But in most circumstances, the ladies that decide to open up their yap at these shows, zero substance comes between from their brain past their lip filler. Zero. And as this woman's getting kicked out, she said something incredibly funny, but in the moment was not, because she's disrupting a show. But afterwards, once you review it, for her being just a complete asshole, she goes, "What is this, cancel culture?" I'll give it to you there. You made me laugh with that one. But apart from that, incredibly annoying. And I sit there and I ponder at night sometimes, what kind of man is this lady married to, or what kind of man has put children inside of her, you know, who went 50-50 on a fuck trophy with her. And it boggles my brain sometimes, you know, when these fucking cows just they're going off, and you think to yourself, like, man, what do I got to do to just shut this person up? You can berate them and insult them to the high heavens, all the way to the depths of hell, and they just don't. Oh, you think that's funny? That's always like a key statement or follow-up rebuttal, is like, oh, you think that's funny? Like they're about to take the moral high ground stance after disrupting a show. Oh, well, you think that's funny? Shut the fuck up. We like banter back and forth with the crowd at our shows. I will gladly admit that. But if you do speak, the probability of one of us tearing into you is very high. There isn't a moment where I'm like sitting there and be like, hey, you know what? You want to speak? Then we're going to let you have it, you know? But I couldn't wrap my head around the thoughts that rattle inside a skull like that. What is this, cancel culture? That's what she had to, that was your only fucking sentence loaded up. What is this, cancel culture? No, this isn't cancel. Cancel culture would be us going on Facebook and letting the whole town know you're a cow by making post after post. We did put a video up of it, of course, because it's funny, and it, you know what? We need good promo these days. You know how hard it is to put good promo out there? You know how hard it is to go viral on the internet now? Every Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry has a cell phone in their hands, and I'm an influencer. I'm a social media creator. And all I want to do is just be like, hey, look at this clip and this is where I'm going to be. And it's fucking harder than I thought. You know, in the beginning when I started, you know, not too many blue collar guys were throwing around content. There was more to be done with it before you could, you know, you could film a video on your phone and upload it, but it was grainy as hell. You know, the technology wasn't there. Now you got a fucking cinema in your goddamn pocket, you know? And by that, when I say cinema, you got the viewers, you got the projection screen, you got it all, the cameras. It's a fucking studio and a half right there, editing software. I didn't have that even 6 years ago. And the stuff that was out was trash, you know, it wasn't really worth your time. So you had to like film it on a GoPro, pretend you knew what you're doing, editing. And even then, my shit sucked. Now, and I'm not saying I'm not mad about it by any means. I'm not upset about it. I'm just saying it's harder. And that makes it better. For the most part, because now like the internet's just flooded with like actually I should just say it's TikTok. TikTok is just flooded with like maniacs. But I like it. And I hope we don't get rid of it, you know? Oh, well, the Chinese are spying on us. Well, first off, before we even go down the road of like the Chinese are spying on us, right? You tried telling the public, and when I say you, government officials came out, news reports of a spy balloon. A spy balloon, a fucking balloon. Anything that involves intelligence and fucking carnival artifacts shouldn't be blended together. You know, that to me blows my, and we are so dumb. The Chinese are spying on us with balloons. We're so stupid it blew me away how many people are like, Jesus Christ, we got to do something about the Chinese. The Chinese, we got to do something about the mouth breathers around here looking up in the sky being like, I can't believe the Chinese are spying on me. There's probably more balloons out there. Do you think for a second that the Chinese are unable into hacking into some of these systems over here? Oh, before we even go down that, why don't we go down the infrastructure that is in this goddamn country? You know? And I sound like a goddamn very patriotic right now, but I'm just saying most of that is produced over there. So you don't think that they have the capabilities on spying us already? And you thought a fucking balloon over Montana? Oh, this is what I mean, man. We're done. It's over. Pack it in. We tried. Conspiracy theorists, all them, you know? Yeah, now if you just like have any remote distrust in the government, you're a right-wing accelerationist, you know, and it's like, no, I'm not even that. I'm not even right-wing. I just don't trust any of you. You know? Every time you make a decision, my life gets worse. And I'm supposed to expect that when I turn on the television and I see the words Chinese spy balloon, I'm supposed to believe that some Chinese guy sat there, put it up in the air, and now gathered all the intelligence they ever wanted. I'm insulted. Do you think that I'm that's stupid? That's more of, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I'm more upset that you believe that I was that dumb that I'm looking in the sky. Oh, the fucking balloon's here. Oh, my God. God almighty. And speaking of fucking Chinese spy balloons, let's get our favorite inflated Chinese lady or guy. We are not quite sure who it is. Teresa Tam, ladies and gentlemen. This is good. We're going to So for those that are new here, this is the Chief Medical Officer of Canada, okay? Dr. Theresa Tam tweeted this out. Most STIs can be prevented by correctly using a barrier such as a condom or a dental dam. Make sure you check the expiry date and packaging for holes or tears before using them. Now we can rewind that back. Most STIs can be prevented by correctly using a barrier such as a mask. Because who's doing that anymore? I guarantee people not getting laid. But this is another, she quote tweeted this. If you're going on spring break, reduce the risk of STIs with this tip. Talk honestly with potential partners about safer sex, STIs, and STI testing. Use barriers and lubricants correctly. Get tested for STIs. Yes, this is how out of touch the government is like when you're hammered in a bar on spring break and you're getting the fuck me eyes, and that goes both ways. That goes both ways, you know. The ladies pick up on the fuck me eyes. The guys pick me up on, or pick me up. They pick me up with fuck me eyes. Those fellas, those fellas give me the fuck me eyes. You better watch out. I'll suck you fucking dry. You understand me? There it is. Come around here, give an old hack the fuck me eyes. I've been doing too much gay shit. It's probably going to start me like, are you projecting something? Are you projecting something, your hack? Deep down, are you a closeted homosexual? We don't know yet. It might get there. And I'm not saying it won't happen, and I'm not saying it will. But we don't know. That's all I'm saying. But talking honestly with potential partners about safer sex and STIs and STI testing, that's what a woman wants to hear. You know, as the moonlight from the midnight sun is high in the sky, you're vibing off of tequila shots and ketamine or whatever the kids are doing these days. That's what a woman wants to hear. As she's horny as the devil, wants you to sit down and be like, you know what? Let's have a quick discussion before this happens. And any man, any guy, any fucking being with testosterone through its system is not going to be blinded by a conversation about all this. You'll say whatever you need to say to fuck somebody. Now, if this was something that's going to get them to fuck you, you would say that already. But it's not. You know, we should honestly sit down and have a quick conversation about what we both think about this, about safer sex. Well, how do you feel about safer sex? And she's like, listen, I got a rape fantasy, and you're making me dry. Safer sex. I want a gun to the back of my head while you fuck me from behind. Safer fucking sex. Well, I was kind of insinuating that STIs are on the rise, and I would like to chat a little more about possibly using a dental dam. Isn't that what I seen there? Did she say dental dam? A dental dam. There we go. She did say a dental dam. Yeah, we could use it. You can suck me with rubber in your mouth and the difficulty to breathe. A dental dam? A dental dam. See, with us, fellas, we don't care. If a chick pulled out a dental dam and be like, do you mind for my safety? And be like, whatever, we don't care. We get to fuck your mouth. I'm fine with that. I don't care. It does not bother me. If that's what it's going to take, that's what it's going to take, because I'm not backing out now, right? Any self-respecting man can look in the mirror and say those exact words and agree with me. Granted, they are in that situation. I do not give a shit. I put in all the effort to get all the way to fucking home base, and if you think I'm going to walk off the fucking field now, you're out of your goddamn mind. So put in the dental dam. And let me throttle that. Let me put that lip filler to test. Somebody should have put the lip filler to test. Fucking Hinton. Wouldn't have been mad if somebody would have fucked the voice box out of that thing. My God. This is what we're dealing with here, up here in Canada. They're like, yeah, well, if there isn't one disease to shovel down their throats, we want that. If there isn't a disease that can be protected from a mask, boy, they sure love putting things in and around your mouth, these government bastards, don't they? They wake up in the morning and be like, what the hell can we do to make sure that these people aren't enjoying themselves? Because you know what I mean? Like sex with a condom is like showering with a raincoat. It just doesn't make sense. I'll assume the risks that are present, right? But nobody in their right mind says to themselves, boy, oh boy, I really enjoy sex with condoms. No. We'll use them if we need to be, but how many times has there been in like cases, you know, and I'm not saying it's right, where the condom fell off, you know? It must have fell off. How many times you use that? Oh, Jesus, I didn't even realize it wasn't even on. It broke. Oh, I knew it fucking broke because it started to feel good again. There wasn't a barrier between me and a pussy. That's why. Let's read this GIF. Prevent sexually transmitted and bloodborne infections, STBBI. Get tested. Encourage your partner to do the same. What do you got next for me? Don't share drug use equipment. No sharing your bongs no more. That's over and done with. Speak with a health professional. Talk about safer sex. Use barriers like condoms. Okay, we read that. Get tested. Encourage your partner to do the same. Oh my God. It's so difficult to fucking take any of this serious these days. You know what I mean? Like, they're just stripping you of all the fun. No more unprotected sex. We're going to boost up the fucking price of liquor so you can't even get hammered. You can't even fucking be drunk and regret it anymore. The ladies got to just endure this sober now and make sober decisions because booze is too high. Guys aren't making the money they used to do. Used to do. You know, inflation is hitting us in the pockets. We can't take you out and just get you fucking drilled so that way I can just be another regret. I can't afford to. So now we just have to painfully go through this sober and have awkward conversation about fucking, excuse me, can you put this dental dam in so I can fuck your throat? Let me put my hog in your windpipe. How does that sound? Does that sound good to you? That sounds great to me. Time for a little ad read. Patreon.com/DangerCat69 for all exclusive episodes. I know, I'm on here begging for your money every fucking week. I'm like an internet panhandler at this point, but if you would like an extra episode of the Uncle Hack podcast, please, by all means, join us on the Patreon. You get this episode that you're listening to now 48 hours earlier than everybody else, and on top of it, you get an extra episode every week. And when roast battles do drop, they are on there. You get, since that content got me in a lot of shit, we put it behind the paywall, and we don't ask for much around here. It's like a fucking beer a month. Buy me a beer. There you go. I don't know why I just like, hey, you want to buy me a beer? Go to patreon.com/DangerCat69 and you get something in return at least. Since if you like this podcast, whatever. Anyways, DangerCatShop.com for all your merch and bullshit and all the dumb shit that we have coming up in stand-up comedy. Comedy. Holy shit, almost died there. Stand-up comedy. That's right. All the tickets are there. All merch, hoodies, flags, whatever you need. Head on over to DangerCatShop.com. Use the promo code podcast69. Receive 15% off your order today. Anyways, back to the episode. So I can't take this place serious anymore. You know? So I can't take this place serious. You know what? Moving on. That's starting to annoy me. Starting to get on my nerves. But I'm not sure. So I was watching this the other night, right? And I'm not sure if any of you out there watch, it's a YouTube channel called The Soft White Underbelly. I am just fascinated with this channel. Actually, the guy was just on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about like what he does and everything. And well, I guess I got to explain that now. Well, so what he does is he interviews people that have went through like they live like wild lives. They've just been through shit. Like, take whatever bullshit you're going through right now, times it by 100. Some of these fucking people, how they are still like able to just talk about this and not just think about putting a shotgun in their fucking mouth is beyond me. So anytime I start to empathize with these people that are going through this crazy fucking life, right? Now I have a difficult time like bitching about the minuscule problems. I have no problem bitching about the news and whatever, because it's entertainment. You know, you come here, you come to this podcast for entertainment, and I try my best to deliver, right? I'm putting an honest effort, but this channel right here, it's not entertaining. It's like it tests like your levels of empathy and sympathy for those on the streets. Like, some of these motherfuckers have just been dealt a hand that, my God, molested at 3, kicked out at 5, in foster care, molested one more time for good measures, punted out to the streets and told to figure it the fuck out. No guidance, no nothing. The school system failed them. You know what I mean? They were just dealt a shitty fucking hand as a kid. And now they're adults and they don't know how to navigate this horse shit, this maze that is put in front of us. We always joke about the Matrix, but it is. It's just everywhere you look, some sort of form of control is right around you. You know, even right down to fucking which way the door goes. Push, pull, you know, and it annoys me. And trying to break away from it is virtually impossible these days. We are so dependent on food sources being, you know, if there's no bananas in the grocery, guess what? You don't get bananas, you know? We don't grow our own shit. We don't do any of this. So when I put those problems of mine into perspective and like how bad do I think I have it compared to like these people that talk on this channel, night and day. Night and day. And in this particular video, I found this part interesting, okay? So this guy shooting the video's name, oh, excuse me. The video's name is Shooting Victim Interview Robert, if you want to watch the whole thing. And this guy talks about how he was shot 9 fucking times. 8, 9 times he was shot. Once in the head, or 2, 3 times in the head. I believe in the arm, in the chest a couple of times. Like, it's fucking insane. And he's talking about this. And then the interviewer asks a question that we're going to listen to right now.
So right there, I was like, what am I going to do? You know, these guys are winded. I just pushed them. They're looking at me like...
They were all African-American or they were white?
Well, the other 2 individuals, I would say they're like... It doesn't really matter what their race was, but yeah, they're Mexican or... They're Mexican. Yeah. Mexican or white mixed or whatever, but like... Either or, I was like,
it changed the dynamics
I was in a
of the
fucked
story.
up spot, like, and in a fucked up situation, and then when the guy put his gun away, turned his back, and he was talking to a few people, that's when I snapped, and I started talking.
Did you hear how terrified he was to talk about race? And now, in this story, he confronts a man with a gun. And the man that shoots him was a black guy, okay? And he is so reluctant to talk about race. He's terrified. Oh, did you hear him? Skirting over it. Let's go back and listen to that just quickly again.
It doesn't really matter what their race was, but yeah, they're Mexican. Like,
this blows me away.
The bartender and the owner go back inside the building.
Oh.
So right there, I was like, what am I going to do? You know, these guys are winded. I just pushed them. They're looking at me like...
They were all African-American or they were white?
Well, the other 2 individuals, I would say they're like... It doesn't really matter what the race was, but yeah,
just had to put that up. It doesn't really matter what the race. This is how scared white dudes are to talk about race these days in California. That's where this shit is shot. That's how terrified. They don't want to bring it up because you know what? Fucking. This is a bit of my fault. You know, I was talking a little bit of shit. Guy had a gun. He pulled it on me. And then I fucking started talking a little more shit. And then he shot me 9 times. He owns up. He goes, that was stupid of me. He was high on meth. He admits that. Meth gives you superpowers, apparently. You just feel like invincible. You're Superman on that shit. Can you imagine that? Guy's pointing a gun at you and you're just sitting there being like, what? What are you going to do, you little bitch? You going to pull the fucking trigger, you little fucking pussy? Huh? Aren't ya? Jesus, I don't know if it gives you incredibly large balls or just a brain that's filled to the brim with stupidity, but either the case, this man is so scared to talk about race. He's like, yeah, you know, I don't know, fucking, yeah, they were something. I don't know, fuck. What do you want me to say? Anyways, yeah, he shot me in the head. Scared to talk. That is insane to me. That you can't just be like, yeah, black dude shot me. It's the most, you know, the appearance of somebody, like whether they wronged you or whatever. It's just easy to, it's the first thing you could describe. Yeah, this fucking white guy the other day, you know? You know, but white dudes now are so fucking scared to talk about race. Even when it's like at the detriment of almost losing your life. They almost lost, this gentleman right here almost loses his life, and he is terrified to bring up the race of that human being that shot him. Holy hell. What happened out there, you know? We went, 40 years ago, maybe 50. Where are we looking? Give me a second, I gotta do math. When the fuck segregation just stopped in what, the 60s? Segregated schools? So we were there at one point, and that was what, 50, 60 years ago? And we're now to the point that white dudes, just like, hey, we'll just shut the fuck up about it. We're not going to address the elephant in the room here. We won't say the race. I found that incredible. How quick he was to be, well, it doesn't really matter about that. It's just like fucking, I will give him credit where credit is due. It's just like, yeah, know what? Maybe they were just fucking assholes. And then I'm an asshole on top of it. So I attracted assholes around me. Next thing you know, I got 9 fucking bullets in me. I got fucking 9 bullets in me because I'm high on meth, hanging out with other assholes in a neighborhood that I shouldn't have been in. And guess what? I'm a little uncomfortable bringing up the whole race thing. But yeah, anyways, 9 bullets. Almost lost my life. I couldn't believe that. More scared of quote unquote cancel culture than the actual crime that took place, the actual attempted murder that almost took place. This guy put a whole fucking magazine in him. A whole fucking... And he still was scared to talk about race. That blew me away, man. I could not believe that. America. Holy hell. What is going on down there? Up here, we're just like, Canadian racism is like kind of pathetic, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going to talk racism, on like the grand scheme of things, Canadians are not good at it. We're not that good. There has been some fucked up events that have taken place in history, but I'm talking in like current time. We might throw a slur around, but like we're fucking we tiptoe around it. And it's usually like, it's not like American racism. American racism is like blunt, to the point, slurs, fucking violence. It doesn't matter. Up here, we're just kind of like, yeah, maybe that fucking, like fucking brown guy. That's like, whoa. Holy hell. What are you doing dropping that grenade out here? What, are you fucking out of your mind? You do that, and you'd be like, that fucking brown guy. Then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, ho, 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 whoa, whoa, holy shit. God damn it. What the hell is going on around here? We're going to need you to calm down, sir. you know? And we go fucking ballistic because, like, I just seen an article or some tweet. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there's this fucking maniac, Kevin Goudreau. I sat on a live stream and we made fun of this fucking guy. He's a neo-Nazi out east, somewhere in Ontario, but he made the news. And it's a solo neo-Nazi. That's how strong they are. They're not even strong in numbers. They're weak in number. That's it. You know? No, nobody's fucking out here trying to be a neo-Nazi. Except for one guy. One guy is out in the streets calling Drag Time Story Hour a bunch of pedos and with a fucking Celtic cross and his swastika tattoo or whatever the fuck he's got. You know, he's out there goose stepping for the good cause, thinking that he's accomplishing something. And yet we blow that out of proportion. We're like, neo-Nazis. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's neo-Nazi. There's one of them. He's by himself. The whole, like, not every fucking white guy that looks like they crawled out of a fucking sewer in Sunnyvale trailer park is a fucking neo-Nazi. Some people just look that way but don't play the part, you know? They were just dealt genetics that, you know, the Aryan nation would surely gladly fucking take them in and welcome them with fucking, I guess, high arm. You know, hey. But to think the streets are flooded with fucking neo-Nazis in Canada is just like such an absurd thing to think, you know? Because we're like this guy right here. Was he black? Whoa, fuck. I just want to state, like, right before I put this police statement in, that I don't see color. Well, did you see color of the man that possibly had the weapon that shot you? Yes, I did. Okay, well, what is it? I just want to make sure that this isn't coming from a place of like, I don't hate these guys, but I just want to make it very clear that race is not, it doesn't really matter here, when they're like, well, we got to find the fucking guy that shot you. All right. Oh, shit, he was, I just want to remind you. It's like, fuck. We can't tell. How are we supposed to move forward if we're that scared to talk about it and just like address the elephant in the room and be like, hey, friend groups do it. But outside of friend groups, I think that's where the line is kind of drawn. You can joke with your Chinese buddies about Chinese stereotypes, black stereotypes, white stereotypes, and dudes just kind of are like, ha, ha, ha. We find that funny. It's fun for us, We get a kick out of it to bust nuts over something like that. But then you get an instance like this where you got to talk about a race outside of your cohort. And it terrifies the living fucking shit out of you. Holy shit. That's what's wild to me. I wanted to bring that up. That was a fun one that I was watching the other night and I seen that and I was like, that is a great topic for this podcast. Even like this Kevin Goudreau asshole goose stepping out in the streets trying to fucking take down Drag Time Story Hour, and and then it's morons like that I'm all for the form of protest and getting your beliefs out there, like whatever it may be. In the past, I was kind of like lopsided, but now I'm like, as time marches on, I just kind of think that, what, fuck it, whatever, let them go fucking hoot and holler. Like, what the fuck does it affect me, Like the trucker convoy, all for it, all for it. Hell yeah. I love like when people rise up and they gather together to be like, fuck you. And then when other people are like, oh, it was too loud there. And it's like, yeah, well, some people are getting fucked with right now and you're just going to have to put earplugs in. Well, what about the other people? Then get the other people to come down here and be like, hey, we got a few things we'd like to add to that list. Join them. Hey, can we add a few things to that list? We need fucking water for the natives. Clean drinking water. We need that. Put that on the list. And then you think anybody in that crowd is going to be like, fuck you? No, all of them were like, yeah, okay. In fact, most of them, I shouldn't say fuck, I'm not talking on behalf, but what happened is they started a GoFundMe or a Give, Send, Go, whatever the website was, to help with that cause. And then you have the audacity to sit back and be like, they're all racist. Come to the fucking protest with a list. You would have got droves of people to be like, hey, yeah, they're down to fucking take this on. They'll give if some politician comes down here, we'll give them a full year. How does that sound? Yeah, we need more shit. Fucking put that on the list. Who else is mad? What else you got? Huh? Well, we're a little upset about the electoral referendum. Put it on the list. We're upset too now. Fuck you. That's what we want to say to those guys around that fucking cage that's around that big fucking building. I'd love to take a piss on that goddamn Parliament Hill, you know, just to say fuck you. But then in turn, they would have got what they wanted. People are shitting all over the streets, and they shoveled the fucking streets better than the goddamn city workers that you pay to clean the streets. But it was loud. Well, that's the price you got to pay, honey, for fucking change to happen. Look at France. France is going buck wild. I seen a video. They're tearing up the street and then went and had a fucking tea as the world's burning around them. They're just enjoying themselves. They're like, yeah, fuck the government. And if there's one country that if you give them any reason to riot, they will. They will riot over parking meter prices going up. You know what I mean? They don't give a shit. They'll tear shit up. They'll burn that country to the ground just to prove 1 point. That's it. They'll chop the head off a leader. They don't care. Well, actually, that's the opposite. They do care. They care tremendously. And they're like, don't even think of fucking stepping over the goddamn line, you sons of bitches. If I'm a politician in France, I'm terrified. There's droves of people in the streets fucking shit up, and they're beating the shit out of the policemen. And you just sit back and you're like, God damn. That's how you get shit done. Holy, don't fuck with the French. They'll burn that goddamn place to the ground, like I said, just to prove a point. Blows my mind that they all just hop on board. They're like, hey, tabarnak. They don't talk like that. They're French. I only got French Canadian, you know. Eh, bonne nuit. Macron says he's going to try and ban cigarette smoking in public. What do you think? Let us burn down the whole country. This is a good idea. I like this. That there is a beautiful idea. And then all it is one guy strikes a match, and then everybody's like, oh yes. All right, time for the other riot. They just jump on board. They don't give a fuck. Like they'll be lighting a match and looking at the other guys. So what is this about? You know, what are we protesting today, huh, Pierre? They are trying to take away the dog park downtown. Oh, those motherfuckers! Right away, right into it. Take away my dog park? I don't think so. What kind of dog do you have? I don't have one. It's fucking awesome. We need more of that. We need more people just to like fucking stand up. Have a spine. And now, here's a fun one. Speaking of all that, and you wonder why we are in the position that we are in, the headline reads, how are illegal guns getting into Canada? It often starts like this. We got a 7-minute video here that we need to dive into. It's probably going to fucking...
Have you ever shot the red dot?
Here we go. Yeah. We'll let that ad play through. But yeah, now, finally, now the Canadian news or Canadian Broadcast Center is finally digging into the actual problem that's taking place. Oh shit, it's not actually registered gun owners that are going up and shooting up fucking malls in Moss or running around New Brunswick dressed as a policeman, whacking the whole fucking town. Oh, it's not them? Weird. That's weird. Why wouldn't it be them? Or fucking, what am I saying? I'm going off. I'm just fucking ranting right now. What I am saying, it is them. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I got a little deep into this. Okay, let's get into the video.
Yeah. Way more accurate.
It's easy to buy a gun in this part of Texas.
Put it in, just do. It does the job.
Boom.
Yep.
Like baseball cards, guns are bought, sold, traded here through a largely unregulated one-to-one private market.
Has 3 21-rounders, so you get 63 shots total. 63, okay. With 9 mil.
It's one of the sources feeding the many American streams flooding Canada's streets with illegal handguns, leaving death in their wake. Like in Ottawa, where guns killed nearly 40 people since 2017. During that same time span, police in the city seized over 352 handguns, the majority smuggled from the US, and bullets.
No shit. So you're telling me we live above the world's biggest gun manufacturer and you don't think that it's going to spill up in here? Even all the regulations and all the hoops you got to jump through just to fucking get a gun in this country, and you think that everything's all hunky fucking dory. You know, it's like if the sewage backed up at your neighbor's place and you're sitting there at your fence line being like, none of that shit better get over here, and as it keeps filling up and more of it's being fucking produced and is backing up and backing up and backing up, and finally it hits your fence and you're like, I can't believe there's shit in my yard. You know, that might have been a bad way of explaining it, but it's just like that's the only way the only thing that came into my head at that moment. You know, this dickhead is sitting here being like, it's America's problem that Canada has guns flooding into its country. No, it's not. It's not America's problem. It's our problem. That's what I mean. That's what the Canadian government loves to do, is just slough everything off like it's not we don't know what to do. You know what I mean? And even the reporter here is trying to make it seem like America bad because you can buy guns in a Walmart parking lot and trade them like trading cards because there's hobbyists that enjoy them. And I get that. Maybe a little regulation might help, but who the fuck am I to speak? I'm not American. What I do know is that the guns that flood into Canada and are part of those illegal crimes usually are purchased illegally, right? And yet we always want to put a fucking scarf or some shit over our eyes and believe that it's all sunshine and goddamn rainbows out there. But in reality, it's this, you know, guns are flooding into the country, and some of them are I'd probably say a good chunk of them land in the hands of some not so great people, not so nice people. You know, they didn't buy that gun to be like, you know what, I'm going to protect my own neighborhood with this. No. But we like to believe in our head for some odd reason, you know. And when I say we, I mean like Canadian government or whoever you want to put in place. Whoever you would like to put in place. Your elected official, the news, whatever. Whoever suits you for this little fucking rant. But these dickheads just love to point the finger in the opposite direction, you know? You want... Put more fucking... What am I about to say? Oh, I've had a long day, ladies and gentlemen. Put more money into border services. Maybe that might help. You want to stop guns from getting in? They're going to get in here regardless. You know, you can get guns in Australia, for Christ's sakes. And they fucking, what? They handed them all in. They handed them all in. Let the government fucking get rid of them. And you can still get a gun there. You're never going to get rid of this problem. You know? You're never going to get rid of it.
Bullets keep cutting down the young and the innocent.
Oh, I like how they like to show the hood, but why aren't we showing Gabriel Wartman? I better be in here.
including Tyson Dengozi.
In the morning when I come, I already saw some blood down.
Joris Dengozi says he doesn't often visit the spot where his son's life bled into the pavement.
One guy going bingo shoot and he shoot him. Yeah.
Just 20 years old, big dreams, full of promise, shot and killed on a Sunday in 2021. He was playing basketball one evening with a friend.
I'm not saying that this story isn't sad, okay? But I hate when the news uses this to like shit like this. This should be a sad fucking story, you know, about a guy that lost his life, you know. Now, whether he was involved in shit or not, that's not for me to determine, but somebody got shot and killed. And, you know, I sympathize with that father of like having to go back and all for their big production. We're going to drag this down. He doesn't like coming back here. Oh, what did you think? What did you think? That every morning he grabs himself a coffee, sparks up a nice fresh cigarette and goes down there and basks in the fucking the surroundings of where his son was murdered? What do you think? You think that's what he enjoys doing? On his day off, what do you like to do? Well, I like to go to the spot where my son was murdered in cold blood and like to hang out there. You know what I mean? Like this production behind this shit. That's why Canadian television is so goddamn bad. Yeah, just the amount of stupidity coming out of this idiot's mouth. Meanwhile, trying to use this gentleman and like the shit that he went through and is probably still going through with the loss of his son. No. This is a good story. Why don't we talk about Gabriel Wartman and all the people that he wiped out? Why don't we do that? Because that seems to be a fucking case that all these goddamn politicians and the RCMP don't want to fucking touch. No. Let's go to the hood. Let's go to the hood. Let's dig up some bones in the hood. Oh, you don't want to talk about how that guy out in fucking... Or it wasn't New Brunswick, it was Nova Scotia. Jesus, right? Nova Scotia. Why did I say New Brunswick earlier? My apologies. The active shooter out in Nova Scotia, where's the answers to that? Where did he get those guns? Let's talk about that. Oh, right. That would crack open way too many fucking cases, wouldn't it? It'd crack open way too many doors. And then we'd start seeing all the bullshit involved with the fucking Canadian RCMP. That's what would fucking happen.
The wrong place, the wrong time. Guns.
This is the general area where I got the radio transmission, where I got the call.
In 2020, Canadian border surveillance spotted a boat crossing the St. Lawrence River. The boat stopped here. A man jumped ashore, and Corporal Dignard began the hunt.
He was carrying a checkered bag, and he got into a vehicle. It was an SUV, so I left on patrol, and I headed in this direction, looking for a vehicle that matched the description. But I didn't identify it as the vehicle that I was looking for until I stopped right behind them at the light.
The RCMP found 9 guns in the SUV and arrested 4 men, all from Ottawa, but only one was convicted for gun smuggling, Tony Nzoigba, the man with the bag.
The good thing right now is those guns that were in your bag last night will never hit the streets. None of those guns are going to kill people.
Corporal Dignard questioned Nzoigba for nearly 2 hours. Wow. He wouldn't give anything away.
Did you traffic guns from out of the country into this country?
Like I stated before, I shall not be answering this.
Nzoigba, 24 years old, never revealed where and how he got these 9 guns, destined for city streets in Ontario. A CBC News investigation found these pistols all came from the suburbs around Houston. We traveled to Texas to see how easy it is for anyone to get a gun here. You don't need underworld connections, just the internet, a cell phone, and cash. I'm here on this website right now going through listings put up by...
Oh, yes. And let's go down to Texas, that Republican state that we all fucking love to hate up here because conservatism wants you to own guns illegally. They want to put Oh, my God. We flew all the way down here just to see how well or how easy it is to get my hands on a Glock.
Individuals.
Oh, yes, it's Texas's problem why guns are being smuggled into Canada. That's exactly it. You know, fucking why didn't I think that? It was right in front of my eyes this whole time. And I can't believe that I would just sit here like a fucking dumbass and just not fucking point the finger to Uncle Sam down south, specifically the Lone Star State, and just be like, listen, the reason why I got in trouble for drunken disorderly in public is because of the state of Tennessee shipping up Jack Daniels. My indecent exposure charge is 100% the fault of the state of Tennessee for allowing them to distill such a delicious product that I love shooting straight and feeling the warmth until I am belligerent, right? Oh, yeah. All those substances that I put up my nose. I blame Mexico and fucking Colombia. That's who I blame. My God. Let's get off this. This is making me angry. This is making me upset. And you know what we got to do? Today's a good day. We have none other than hate mail. We got some goddamn hate mail for you today, ladies and gentlemen. It is good. It is great. The folks have spoken. They're actually upset. They got some things that they need to get off their chest, and we're here to allow them to do such a thing. You got hate mail? Email me, unclehack@dangercats.tv with the subject line hate mail. That's the only way I'm going to read these on this show because A, I'm lazy and I'm not about to go to an Instagram DM or wherever you email to the show. That's how you do it. It's very simple. You have a thought, you have a feeling, you have a question. I don't care what it is. Just fucking send it here. We'll read it for your entertainment, my entertainment, and have a good time while doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the very first hate mail of the episode. Hey there, Uncle Hack, you minty cunt. My fake name is Mike Hunt. Love your podcast. Long-time drilling mechanic from California here. I've got a twist off that I need help with. One of the drillers I've worked with for years got let go and had to put his 15-year-old dog down on the same day. Left the shop for the last time. I know jobs are being cut, but not to the sound like a pronoun using faggot. How do I help a good friend through this? Any advice is welcomed. Thanks in advance, you mint cunt. P.S. Your rant on blue-collar jobs hit home for me. I gave up, but found out I could support my family by throwing tools at large 1202 burning engines. Hell yeah. Please don't include this. Oh, shit. Oh, God, I didn't read that in the hate mail. P.S. I wanted to thank you for the hot garbage, the hot garbage shit that comes out of your mouth. Thanks again, your fuck stick. Keep it in the ketchup. My apologies. I didn't read this prior, and I put that in there. So we're already here. Let's go through this. I got a twist off that I need help with. One of the drillers I've worked with for years got let go and had to put his 15-year-old dog down on the same day, left the shop for the last time. I know jobs are being cut, but not to sound like a pronoun using faggot. How do I help a good friend through this? Any advice is welcome. See, this I got a bone to pick, gentlemen. See, I went through something similar just recently where I had to step to the plate and say some very uncomfortable shit to somebody that I haven't seen in a very long time. And I'm going to be real. I'm going to be fucking real. I'm not going to dick around with this one because this is some shit that some guys need to hear. You know, there's nothing wrong with stepping to the plate and speaking what's in your heart. You know, that guy's going through some shit. Got let go from his job. You know, you got to put a dog down. That's a tough fucking gig, dude. I know the attachment that some men have with their dog, you know, and it's a tough goodbye. And there's going to be tears that come with that. And you know what? It's not fucking gay to cry. It's gay to cry over like petty shit, you know, dumb shit, you know, like female shit. You know what I'm talking about? But like something like that stings, dude. 15 years you were with that dog. Highway drives, taking him to the park, feeding him, just being a good fucking dog to you. Guy was loyal. One of the few loyal things in your life. And on that day, you thought that you had security at that job and you got let go. And that guy's going through some shit. And we're pussies when it comes to this. We are. We are absolute pussies when it comes to speaking with some substance. You know, we can sit and banter and bullshit and be bros and fuck... You could live your whole life not knowing your buddy's deepest, darkest secret and be okay with that. Where, you know, females, they love, I mean, oh, what did you think? You know? And it's not that this is that. And I'm not saying that you're trying to pry information out of it, but sometimes it's just good to hear that your boy is looking out for you. And to sit down with him, bring a fucking bottle of whiskey over and be like, listen, brother, fucking life's throwing you some hard balls right now. Some fucking fast pitches, but you'll bounce back in the next inning. You can bomb this inning. You know, you got to get this shit out of your system, but don't let it drag you down. We watch too many, you know, how many of your friends have went down a path that if you would have just sat there and said to him, be like, buddy, you're fucking up. What are you doing? You're much better than this. And instead, because we don't want to look like a pussy and show like emotion or any sort of love to our fellow fucking brothers, right? We just allow somebody to go down this deep, dark, nasty path that beats the shit out of them. And beats them into the fucking ground. And we refuse to just allow something that might choke us up a little bit get in the way. You know, I don't want to fuck that guy. You know, we have our excuses, whatever they are. And in some circumstances, probably an issue like this is where, you know, this is where stepping up to the plate and being a good dude is like, hey, just coming over with a bottle of whiskey on a weekend, whatever it may be. Maybe you don't drink. Maybe it's just like being there, have a cigarette. You know, most of us smoke or do something. We got something, whatever he's into, you know? And like I said, I had to have a difficult conversation with somebody that I won't dive too much into that because that's just personal shit. And I'm not one for airing my dirty laundry because that to me is not being a man. It's like running in the moment that you have a revelation or some sort of that. I feel like that's worth sharing, but the context behind that isn't worth it, you know, it involves somebody else that maybe doesn't want their personal life. I'm okay with the shit that I've done and it doesn't involve, I'll always leave names out and shit like that, but I'll use my life experiences as an example. And you know what? The first words out of my mouth and stepping up to the plate and looking at this person in the eyes and just apologizing for how I've acted was so fucking hard. It was so hard. And to look them in the eyes and do it, we can do it through text. You can do it through a phone call, but it's not the same. It's not. We know that. We know that as men, young men. Listen up. There's something when you talk to somebody and you look them in the fucking eye and you tell them exactly what's going on in here and in your heart, and you can look at them and have a difficult conversation. That's being a fucking man to me. That's me. This is Uncle stepping up right here and telling you guys like, hey, there's some shit. There's some difficult conversation. Maybe there's some bullshit in your head that you just need an answer to, you know? This guy right here is an example. Maybe this could be the thing that fucks him up. Two things in one day. Two things just kick this guy in the nuts. And sometimes you just, you hear the same bullshit. It's okay, you'll bounce back. It's okay, you'll bounce back. It's got to be more than that. Be like, listen, brother, you get time to grieve. The loss of one of your best buds, your dog. I consider, animals are a big part of people's lives, especially those that don't have kids or any of that. And even if you do have kids, the dog might have been there before the kids. That dog fucking was always there for you, always greeted you at the door, right? And you get your job taken away from you and your best buddy in the same fucking day, man, that guy needs somebody. He needs somebody to talk to. So you get off your fucking ass and you go be a good dude and sit there and just listen to him. You don't got to talk. Sometimes just being there is much more than just being like, I hope he's doing okay. You know what I mean? We don't need to sit there and have a full-blown conversation about how shitty you fucking feel. I don't need to drag that out of you. If you want to talk about it, you'll talk about it. But there is a time where you got to step up and be a good friend and just go there and be there for them. It could be even just watching the game, watching a movie, watching whatever you guys are interested in. It could be a YouTube fucking video about mud bogging. Just the fact that you're there will speak volumes. But you make sure though, don't pry. Don't be a loser and pry. Well, what are you feeling? What are you feeling? You're not a therapist, okay? And you just let them know, like, hey, you got to get some shit out there, dog. It stays between us. Don't be one of these rat fucks when somebody tells you some heavy information. The first thing you're doing is calling everybody else. That's fucking schoolyard shit. Drives me up the wall. I hate when people act like that, I hate when they act like that. You tell them some shit, and the next thing you know, you told them in confidence, and now everybody, oh, I'm sorry to hear it. It's like, fuck, man, I told you that because I trust you. So be a man that this guy can trust, and be someone that he can count on, if that's how close you guys are. So I hope that helps you. That's about as real. It's crazy, the timing of this, and just the way I didn't even read this, if I'm being honest. I did not read that one, or else I would have left the shit out. I was in a rush, and I picked the first 3 pieces of hate mail, and it just so happened to fall around the same time that I was going through something similar to that. So it was kind of weird, if I'm being honest. But no, I think us dudes get scared that we're going to look like a bitch, or we're going to look like we're fucking weak over being real. Sometimes being real comes with some fucking tears, and that's okay. And, that's fine. You can deal with that. You can deal with that in many different ways, but suppress some shit, some shit that's been bugging you, And I finally got closure on a lot of stuff by just stepping up to the plate and asking, just apologizing. And I got a lot of answers to questions in my life of like somebody that, used to be a huge part of it, And and if I'm being honest, 20 years had passed. 20 fucking years. Now, and it's never too late. So if you're feeling something about somebody and you're just wondering, reach out. I'm telling you, don't be ashamed. There's no shame. We all die in the end. And if you think your legacy is going to live on, you're fucking wrong, okay? That's kind of rude. I'll take that one back. Your legacy will succeed. Is that the word I'm looking for? Just by you stepping up and being that person that you envision in your head. It'll speak volumes of your character. And there's nothing wrong with being a good person. And that ain't you know what a pronoun faggot shit would be? Pronoun faggot shit would be you go over there, you get all the information, and then you start spreading it against his will, Spreading against his word, sorry. That's pronoun faggot shit. Man shit is going over there and being a fucking real bro and hunkering down and helping them get through some shit. So don't assume that pronoun faggot shit comes with the territory of possibly a tear running down your cheek because you have to listen to your friend tell you how fucking life is kicking them in the bag right now and it's choking you up a bit. That ain't fucking pronoun faggot shit. That's part of being a man, having some empathy for another person's situation and hearing them out. So I hate that shit is always like, you know, anytime it comes up with feelings, and I know I'm not a big fan of feelings, and I'm trying to figure them the fuck out as I chug along on this big beautiful path of life. All right, we got a novel here. Our next piece of hate mail. I hope that helped you out, though, by the way. All right, Uncle. All right, Uncle Hack, you fucking sex machine. All right, this isn't so much of a question or hate mail. This is a rant before I rub one of these liberal queer motherfuckers' faces up against a cheese grater. Why the fuck do these queers and trannies care if anyone likes them and accepts them? Like, holy fuck, nobody gives a flying turtle shit about your feelings, and just smoke a joint and chill out. Also, how did a generation raised on Family Guy and The Simpsons and Futurama grow up to be so goddamn soft and easily offended? Like, fucking grow up. Like, fucking grow a pair already and go cry me a fucking river back in the closet where you belong. What happened to the good old days when these weirdos got burned at the stake? And what the fuck happened to roll up the ramp? Now I got to goddamn do it online. Like, what's the fucking point of that? And that motherfucking Trudeau can go fuck himself and shove his head up his Satan's asshole and die a slow, stanky death. I'm so fucking tired of that knuckle-dragging cunt and that smug look he has. I'm also fucking tired of all those heifer whores that think they are top shit and their shit don't stink. Like, fuck, get your head out of your ass and realize that you're a bottom-of-the-barrel bitch and you're not going to get a guy who makes all this money and is tall and in Prince Charming when you've been ran through by the town's hockey team and are built like Gru from Despicable Me. But anyways, I think you're a fucking beauty and I love the pod, but I'm still too much of a cheap cunt to sub to your Patreon. I've also trained my dog to hate brown people. What an episode. Holy shit. Yours truly, Big Daddy from British Columbia. You're from BC. It makes sense why you wouldn't subscribe to the Patreon. Taxes are fucking beating the hell out of you guys. Now our final piece of hate mail. What a ride it's been this episode. Hack. The last episode where you went off and ranted was fucking hilarious. That's the kind of shit I wanted to hear. It's nice to hear someone say what I'm thinking, like how fucked up the government is for focusing on the pronouns instead of all the goddamn tweakers that are pulling this society down into the raging abyss. Keep making the podcast full of rants minus the commie shit. It pumps me up. I hope you can keep riding the comedy train. Okay, now I kind of sound gay. Also, conspiracy theories need a platform too. Just saying. Fuck it. What do I know? I'm just another dummy trying to make a living in this system. I should probably just shoot up and let the government pay my way. It might be easier and even a little fun. Fuck you from Fort Mac, you cuck. All right. Yeah. Minus the commie shit. I know, fucking, well, some shit, I'm not saying I'm going full-blown communist right now. I'm just saying, like, maybe the systems are a little fucking out of date. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, in your computer, you got that old-ass computer and you never gave it an update, or your iPhone, and you notice that it starts running a little slower and the thing starts crashing and it just doesn't seem to be fucking working. I think that's where we've gotten now with governing bodies, is that we are starting to realize that all these guys is just fucking vile sacks of shit that spew it every goddamn day. They get together and spew it. They do it on the news, wherever they are. They're just spewing shit. And now the shit is so stinky and so fucking just vile that it burns your nose hairs and you can smell it from fucking 15, 20, 50 miles away before that bullshit even hits you, you know? You read an article about what somebody says and you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely this. Instead, it's one thing over here. Chinese spy balloon right here, right? Oh no, what else is going on? Banks are collapsing, all this other shit behind the scene. But the Chinese have a balloon. That's what I mean when I'm saying that shit. Like the system's outdated, the media's outdated. We see through it, the holes are poked through it, and now nobody knows what to fucking believe. You try telling your neighbor like what you think, and they're like, oh, you're a fucking right wing. You know what I mean? And then you got the fucking, you know, the pride flag across the street calling you a goddamn homophobe, and you're like, yeah, fucking what? So what? What do you want me to do? These words don't hurt me. I'm just saying the system's a little ass backwards. And with that being said, I thank you for writing in. And if you got a piece of hate mail, email the show, unclehack@dangercats.tv, subject line, hate mail. If you're looking for tickets to the shows, dangercatshop.com. They're getting fucking fun. I'm going to tell you that. The audiences are getting better and better, and I'm excited to be out there with you fucking sweet, sweet sons of bitches out in Ontario, and it's going to be a good time. I can't wait to shake the hands of you fine folks out there that have been putting up with the bullshit of Doug Ford and Justin Trudeau to be in your goddamn province. That's got to be that's enough to make a man insane. Anyways, thank you again for listening to another episode of the Uncle Hack Podcast, and we appreciate you tuning in. Sayonara.